Hello, Julie here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for joining me here today. If you're new, thank you for checking in with me and I hope you enjoy my video, and if you do, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. So today I'm going to be making some embellishments to put into this current journal that I'm working on. There is a video showing sort of how I created that, so I'll put that in the description box if you want to have a look at it. Now, today's project I saw on YouTube by Rachel at Roxy Creations, and I loved the idea, so I thought I would have a go at it myself. Now, my journal is 8¼ inches tall, so it's just a normal A4 page, but I'm going to make this I'm going to make it 7 inches tall. So I'm going to just cut this down, and I'm making Rachel's weekly challenge number 8, I think it is. Now, she just folded hers over. She used book page. She uses book page for a lot of things, but I thought I would use this printable that is the same printable that I'm using throughout the whole journal. So it has a flap on it, and I don't want that flap to be white, so what I'm going to do is fold this over that way, about that much, so that, like that, and then I'm going to, let me think about this, yes, and then I'm going to, well then, this folds back onto that like so. Yes, that'll be fine. So that can just fold down there like that. And I'll stick this down so that it is not showing any. Actually, I might open that out and just fold that back a little bit more so that it overlaps. I should have used my scoreboard to do this. It would have been a lot easier. And it doesn't look like I've cut that particularly straight. Okay, so I'm going to glue this piece down. Now you can use any papers. As I said, Rachel used book page, and I will put a link to her video in the description box so you can go and see how she did it. I'm doing mine a little bit different, but really the only difference between mine is that she's used book paper and she doesn't need to do this step because the book paper, of course, is double-sided. Okay, so I've got that stuck down. Now I am going to use my scoreboard to do the next step. There we go. I'm going to score that so that it's like just a little bit of room between it and that where this comes to. So I'm going to go about there. So I'm leaving about 1/8 inch. There's the problem, isn't it? Because that is not straight. So that's straight. Now let's get the other edge straight. Sorry about the phone. Okay, so that gives me a bit more room there. So this folds over towards the join. Burnish that, like so. Now you can have this on either side, depends which way you fold your paper. If you've got double-sided paper you can fold it that way and then it's got the hinge on that side. Okay, so now we need to, actually I'm going to do 2 of them. I'm going to use this for the other one. And that doesn't look at all straight to me. Look at that, it goes up on a big... So let's see if I can get that straight to start with. And this side straight. Well, that's not too bad that way. Let's try this one. That's a bit out. So, hopefully that's squarer. Now, that goes that side. I'm going to do this one so that if I do it like that, oh, it's going to be the same, but that won't matter. Okay, so let's get my scoreboard out again. And this time I'm going to score this, and I'm going to score it at 1 inch. So that will let me fold that over 1 inch. And then I'm going to fold this over halfway, so that's 5 1/8 there. And I didn't trim it down to 7 inches, did I? I don't know where my head is these days. So let's do that now. Bring this down to 7 inches. I think that's what I decided to make them, wasn't it? Yeah. I'll trim it there, that will... I'll trim some off the top and some off the bottom. I don't want to cut all of that off. I might trim that off there. And then trim this off at 7 inches. Okay, so that's that one. We've got that there, and then this is going to fold over like so. That's no good. Don't want that wide, do I? Oh dear. So, I want this to fold over to about, and have about 1/2 inch left there. Go about there. Let's go with that. And then we can score down here. We're going to have our hinge fold. Okay, so let's see what we've got now. So we've got that, comes over there like that, and that folds like so. That folds either way. Oh no, folds that way. It can fold either way. And this one sticks like that and then folds down like that. So I have got 2, one going each way. Alright, so now there are a couple of options here. You can just glue around here and have a pocket at the top. I'll do one that way and I'll do one without the pocket at the top. So let's say I'm going to do this one with the pocket at the top. So I'm going to run my glue around here and down the bottom there. And glue that down. Actually, I have to do this. Oh yeah, that's it. So stick that down. Just finish that glue with my tool, like so. Okay, so that's got a pocket at the top, and I'm going to do a little divot in the top of that, just so that I remember. Actually, it's not quite level. I you can see there that the white's showing at the top on that side. So I'm going to just trim that down a fraction. And is the rest of it square? Yes, it is. So that's okay. What about this one? Is this one square? Not really. Oh, yes, it is. Not bad. Okay. So I'm going to punch a divot in this. Just a small one, and just sort of around the middle. Okay, so now we know that that's a pocket at the top. Now this one I'm going to attach all over, so glue the whole thing down. You can use glue stick for this if you want to. I'm not a big glue stick fan, so I tend to use liquid glue. I'll glue that down, I should do that. Now we can fold this one over, get it nice and square, and easy bone folder, just smooth over that, get rid of any excess glue, spread the glue out underneath, and that is that. So that's our two basic pieces. Now I'm going to put pockets on these now, so let me collect some papers and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've printed out some more papers, and I have double-sided them. I won't need double-siding for these particular ones, but I thought, well, if I'm printing them out, I might as well have them available for anything. Now, I'm going to put some pockets on here, and I'm just wondering how tall do I want the pockets. 3 inches. I think 2.5 inches is enough. Yeah. Alright, let's go 2 3/4 just to be on the safe side. 2 3/4. So I'm going to put the florally piece on this one. So just pop that across there and mark that with a pencil where I want to cut it. And leave a little bit of gap over this side. So I don't want this to go right up to the crease. That'll be fine. So cut that off there. Now, if I wanted to put gussets on this, I would add 1 inch and then score at 1/2 inch on each edge. But I'm not going to do that. So that's I'm going to cut that off there. And this one is too small for that, so that can go into my scrap bin and cut this one off at 2 3/4. Well, this one's a bit different. If I do 2 3/4 on this one, what part of the dog is going to be showing? It might look a bit silly, mightn't it, with that? So I might have to cover the whole dog up, which is a bit of a shame, but I don't think it looks that good with just the eyes poking over. So I'm going to go 3 1/2 on this one. Unfortunately, and how wide do I want it? So I want to just clear that fold line and about here. So I'm just going to put a pencil mark there and cut that. Now, while I was waiting for those papers to print out, I did ink around my 2 pieces that we've already constructed. I'm going to put a divot in each of these, and because they're not going to be on the same embellishment, it doesn't really matter if they line up or not, but for ease of punching, I'm just going to do them both at once. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take these pockets and these to my sewing machine, and I'm going to stitch around each of them. Now, of course, I won't be able to stitch around the top here because that would close my pocket up, but I will stitch around the other 3 edges, and I'll probably stitch around the hingy part as well, and I'll stitch around the pockets. So that one's going to go on there like so, and that one's going to go on there like so. Okay, so I've stitched around there. I've left my pocket open, so I haven't stitched across the top of that one. I've stitched around the hingy part. I've also stitched right around this one and the hinge. I've stitched around my pockets and inked around my pockets. Now I'm going to attach the pockets. This bigger one goes on here when we cover up our poor little puppy. So try and line that up with your side and your bottom, or the bottom of your embellishment. And run our bone folder over that just to burnish that glue into place. And we're going to do this one now. So okay, put that one down there, and finish that glue in. And you can see that I'm a bit away from the fold there, so that that doesn't restrict that from moving in and out. Okay, now the next thing that Rachel did was she added something to these. Now I'm going to add these, but to do that, well, they have to be exactly the same size, so I can't glue them together to cut them the same size, so I have to do the best I can holding them in place. So I'm going to put that on there like so and cut that. And how am I going widthwise? I think think they're fairly level width-wise. Isn't it marvellous, you know? This cutter cuts perfectly all the time, and then when it's got to be, when you're trying to make sure that it's exactly the same, it doesn't behave itself. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is choose which one's on the front and which one's on the back. So I got a little dog on that one, so we might put that one on the front and this one on the back. So this one has to have coverage over the whole lot. Actually, I should glue this one down first, so I'm going to glue this one first. So the one that's going on the top only needs glue on the part that is going to be on this section. So I'm going to try and get that something like central, and stick that on there flush with the edge. Now this one, even though I've started putting the glue on it, I'm going to ink around the edge of this one before I attach it. Okay. Right, so now I'm going to bring this in here and put that exactly on top of that, like so, and then stick it down. Okay, now because I forgot to ink that first one, I'm going to try to do that now. Glue's still wet, so it's a bit bendy, but I won't be able to glue right down that side because I might be able to get a little bit on there like that. You don't have to ink, of course, if you're not an inker. I just like the look of it, so I just ink just about everything actually. Okay, so that's that one. Now this one, I thought I would add some tags. Now I have got one tag here, and see, it's just a little bit too big for my liking. I think I might cut some off, but I'm going to use these perhaps, so I'll just cut them out. Actually, I'll just cut them out roughly, and then I'll back to back them and cut them out properly. So how is everybody? Everything is good here. Had lunch with my daughter and my granddaughter and my husband today. That's very pleasant. Of course it won't be today when you see this. So yeah, everything's good here. I hope everything's good with you. It's the end of summer, so we're getting some really nice weather. We have got a couple of hot days coming up, mid-30 days, which is a little bit hot. But the rest of the week we're like mid-20s, which is just beautiful. There we go. Those two. How did I go? Not perfect, but okay. I will trim them down so that they are both exactly the same. I have to trim some length off too, don't I? So, slightly bigger there. Okay, how tall do I want them? Let's have a look. I think I would like them maybe about that big. So I'm going to cut them off there. What is that? 5 1/4. I'm going to go 5 1/4. Okay, so they are pretty good. I'm going to anchor both of these this time before I attach them. So we're going to attach them basically the same way that we did with the postcards on the other one. What I am going to do is do a little bit of inking just around the edges in case they do sort of just not quite meet up perfectly. We could put that one on there, this one on here. Yes, I like that. So I'm going to attach this one first. So that is going to go on there. Out of the way. I'm going to position that about there. Like so. Now glue it on the whole of the back of this one. Now the reason I'm making two is because I've got two signatures in this journal and I will put one in each signature. So now I can pop that on there and line this up like so and burnish that down. Oh, where's my folder? Okay. Now, if you know me at all, you know the next trick is that I'm going to take these to my sewing machine. I'm going to stitch around the postcard and I'm going to stitch around that tag. Now, Rachel embellished her, she put an embellishment in here and on some of the pockets. Now, I'm not going to add anything to this one because I think that that's busy enough and I like it the way it is. By the time you put a tag or something in there, you're not going to see the back of that, and I'm not worried about putting something on it. So, but this one, I thought I might add a little bit of something on there, and I've got some fussy cuts from the kit. This is not a fussy cut, this is just a piece of off-cut coffee dyed cardstock. I'm going to ink around the edge of that. I could emboss this, you know, just to add a little bit more interest, but I'm not going to at this stage. I should emboss some cardstock, coffee dyed cardstock, and keep it on hand so that when I want it, I've got it there and I don't have to go off and do it, which sometimes stops me from using it because I have to go out into another room to do that, because my craft room is a bit small and I can't fit everything in. So I'm going to use those, and I'm going to use a piece of this coffee dyed cheesecloth. I'm going to pull some of these threads out. I see I've got the selvage there, so I'm going to cut that off. Fray it a bit. Fray it quite a bit. Just pull it out of shape and make it a bit scrappy looking. There we go. So I'm going to put that, I might put that between those layers like so. So let's stick those down. And once I've done that, I'm going to call this project finished. Put it down there a fraction. Add some glue there for the cheesecloth. Put that on a bit of an angle, like so. I'm going to add my hot air balloon, which I love. My husband and I went up in a hot air balloon for our 30th wedding anniversary. Before I stick that down, I want to put this word behind it. Lazy days. Put that about there. And put that about there. Okay. That stuff sticks to your gluey fingers, doesn't it? So there we go. So there's my two little embellishments. Later on, when I am a bit more organised, I will put something in those pockets. So we'll have something like that. And I've got one, oh, you can attach these to your pages if you wanted to. You could attach it as a pocket or as a side pocket, so across there like that, and then you've got your side pocket there and your top pocket there. So remembering this one has already got a pocket on it. And you can do the same with this one, of course. You can just glue it on two sides and you've got a tuck spot. You can glue it on three sides and you've got a pocket. Or you can glue it that way and you've got a pocket at the top, because this one hasn't got a pocket in it. So I'm not sure how I'm going to attach those to my journal at this stage. It will depend where I decide to put them and what's going on around them. So there we go. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. As I said, it was Roxy's weekly challenge, I think it is, and it's week number 8, and I'll put a link to that in the description box. But as I said, she used book pages for hers, and they look completely different, but they are exactly the same. Exactly the same idea and construction, near enough. Alright, well, thank you for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed my video. Don't forget to leave me a comment and a thumbs up if you have. And I hope you can join me when I post my next video. Okay, bye.